Well, good evening, parents and families. We'd like to welcome you to our kindergarten orientation. This certainly is a different way of presenting. Normally, we like to bring our families in, have that connection, have the children in the kindergarten rooms doing activities. But since it is the year that it is, we are here with you virtually, and we will do our best to kind of give you the best experience we can in that virtual forum. Before we begin this evening, I would like to introduce everybody that is here as the panelists. My name is Stacy Kane. I am the building principal here at Mountville, and I would like to begin by introducing the team that we have. We'll begin with our reading specialists.
Good evening. My name is Terry Baker. I am a reading specialist and literacy coach in the building, and I welcome all of you tonight.
Good evening. My name is Chris Faust. I'm also a reading specialist in the building. Welcome.
Hi there, I am Judy Haggis. I'm another reading specialist in the building, and I look forward to meeting our new students when they come in for kindergarten screening. Thanks for being here tonight.
We also have our school nurse joining us.
Hi there, my name is Erin Essick. I am the school nurse at Mountville Elementary School and Landisville Primary, and I look forward to meeting all of your students.
And our school counselor.
Hi there, I'm Danielle Foote. I'm the school counselor at MES, and I look forward to the arrival of all your students this coming year.
So as we just introduced our staff that are here this evening, we again are going to take you a little bit through what kindergarten looks like, as well as explaining some of the pieces for kindergarten, signing up for being able to have your children come in to be screened, and some of the other things that will come up as we go through the evening. We'll begin with our school nurse explaining some of the things that the nurse does here in the building.
Hi there, again, my name is Erin Essick. I am the certified school nurse in the building between here and Landisville Primary. My health room nurse is Miss Katie Nagan, and she is in the building when I am at my other building. So there is always a nurse in the building at Mountville. Biggest thing in a normal year, what do I do? What do we do in the school nurse's office? First aid care, illness care. We take care of a lot of chronic illnesses, such as diabetes and seizures, as well as acute illnesses, such as the cold or stomach bug. We also can administer any medication with proper medical orders. Because of the age of the children, we do require some doctor's orders for medication. We also perform yearly health screenings, vision, hearing, and growth. And then also maintain a Pennsylvania health record. Everything that you do provide to me that is required for your students in school is kept in a health record through their entire school career. So they will have all of that stuff in there with them to look back upon. The biggest things that people usually ask are, what do we need for the students to start? So a physical exam form that would be filled out by your doctor. A lot of times we do have a form on our website that does list everything that you need to fill out. But if you bring in a copy of your physical that your physician did for your child, I will take that as well. That does count. The next thing that we need to see is we need to make sure that your students are seen by a dentist. This is a form through Hempfield School District, again on our website, that is just filled out by you as the parent. We do not need a signature from your dentist. This is just you telling us that you have a dentist and letting us know when their last appointment was, so we know they're getting dental care. The biggest one, Pennsylvania State does follow very closely the immunization record. your student must be up to date with their immunizations before the first day of school in August. Now, if you have a student who is turning 5, very close to the first day of school, and doesn't have their yearly appointment until after, contact me at the below contact information, and we can chat about that. In the meantime, we have quite a bit of time so that we can discuss that. So I don't want anybody to feel stressed out about that. Also, if your students are on any sort of catch-up schedule for immunizations, that is something we can work on. So don't stress out about that. Reach out to me, call, email with any questions, any concerns. And again, I look forward to meeting your children.
Thank you, Mrs. Essick. Next, we'll have Mrs. Foote, our school counselor, share a little bit about counseling here.
Hi there. Again, this is Mrs. Foote. I am looking forward to meeting each and every one of your students this coming fall. But just a little bit about what I do with students. I support them in developing their personal, social, and academic skills. And I do this through a lot of classroom lessons, small groups sometimes, and then individual check-ins. And it can be related to expected behaviors, friendship, social concepts, safety, and then early career choices. I also help support them in their transition to Mountville. I know within that first year, students, it's a transition from home to school. So I work with the parents and the teachers to help support those students with those transition concerns or anything like that moving forward. And the last thing I really do is I help provide additional support to families and or resources and or referrals to community services for families that may need additional support to help their students socially and emotionally with their development. So again, this is just a very brief thing that I help students with, but I am really looking forward to meeting each and every one of your students. And if you have any questions, my contact information is there, and welcome.
Thank you. So this next portion of our evening is really going to be kind of just taking a look at our high five here, and we're going to watch some videos and learn a little bit more about the kindergarten screening, how you can sign up, what it looks like in the day in the life of kindergarten, and then give you an opportunity to meet one of our kindergarten teachers. Mrs. Haggis will be sharing with you through this video how you can sign up for kindergarten screening for your child. We will also be here for questions and answers at the end, and you can also contact the school if you don't recall, because this is a lot of information in a short period of time.
Hello and welcome to Kindergarten Screening 2021. My name is Judy Haggis and I'm one of the reading specialists at Mountville Elementary School. And I am here to share with you a presentation so that you know and your child knows what to expect on the kindergarten screening this year. Here we have some important details for you to know. The kindergarten screenings will be held at the school in person with a reading specialist, as has been done in the past. The dates will be this year, the first week of May 3rd through the 6th. It's a Monday through a Thursday. Each of the sessions will be about 30 minutes in length so that you can plan on that timing. We will start appointments as early as 8:30 in the morning, and our last one will be at 2:30 in the afternoon. The way that you will sign up is that you will sign up through a Sign Up Genius. There is a link in the MES High Five that you already saw in this presentation. And at a later time, you will be able to go on that, click on that link, and it will take you right to a Sign Up Genius. For those of you who are not familiar with that, you will need to create an account, a free account, so that you can sign up your child. If after that you have any other problems, you can certainly call the school to to ask for help. Because of our COVID restrictions, this year we asked that just one adult accompany the child to the appointment. So that would mean no siblings, as we have had in the past. The one adult does not have to be a parent. It could be a grandparent or a caregiver, depending on what your needs are at that appointment time. Everyone who enters the building must wear a mask. We will have cleaning procedures done in between the appointments. And it will be a little bit different that you will not enter through the main doors. You will enter through the door to the left of the main entrance. It is labeled A4, and that is the entrance to the kindergarten wing of the school. We will make sure that you have an escort into the building, as you cannot enter without a teacher coming to get you. So you would just stand outside right before your appointment time and wait for that teacher to come get you. Each child will receive a kindergarten bag with some fun learning tools to help them prepare for kindergarten and some fun things for them to work on over the summer. As in the past, we have had indicators of kindergarten readiness that we have checked. And they are very similar to what we've done in the past. Things like seeing if your child can rate their first name, counting, being able to see a number between 1 and 10 and say what that number is, and maybe hold up that many fingers. Letter identification, naming the letters. First sounds, where we would say a word and ask for your child to be able to tell that first sound in a word. Counting objects, identifying shapes, and being able to handle a book, knowing how you would read a book. So these are things that we've checked in the past, and they remain the same. A lot of these skills are taught in preschool, and many children come to kindergarten having some of these in place. Again, all of our assessments are done in a very comfortable setting. We try to make the child feel as safe and at ease as possible. Some of the skills are determined in more like a game-like setting, so that they come out thinking that they had a really great time. What's new this year is we are using a second piece to our assessment called the PELI. Stands for Preschool Early Literacy Indicators. And this is a new assessment that is done by reading through a book. So many of the skills, such as alphabet knowledge, knowing their letters, vocabulary and oral language, the phonological awareness, which means the sounds in words and word parts, and listening comprehension. So can they understand and tell us a little bit about a story that's been read to them? So all of these skills are assessed while the teacher or the reading specialist would be reading a story with your child. So it, again, is done in a very fun, comfortable delivery. So that is the end of our kindergarten screening for 2021. And we really look forward to meeting your children and very excited to see what our next class of kindergartners will be. Again, if you have any questions after viewing and listening to all of the information tonight, you may feel free to call the school. Thank you.
So when you are looking at the high five, which we will make sure is on our website, our Mountville website, as well as having it on the district website, you want to make sure that you go into the handprint, and then there will be the Sign Up Genius link. And this is where, yes, you would have to have have your account or to sign up for an account, but it's very simple if you've never used Sign Up Genius before. Really, you just, after you have your account, you're able to just sign up for your appointment, and then it tells you your time. It gives you a reminder, almost like you're signing up for a doctor's appointment. And then you come in, or whomever is bringing your child in, and we do the quick screener, and then you're free to go home. And again, that just gives us the information so that we know kind of where we need to go to make the experience for your child when they start school the best experience it can be. For kindergarten, a day in the life of kindergarten, Mrs. Faust is going to walk us through what that would look like.
Good evening. We'd like to welcome the class of 2034. This presentation will show you what a typical day will look like for your kindergartner. Students arrive between 8:40 and 9 a.m. for the AM session and 12:45 and 1 for the PM session. During this time, students unpack and do a chosen activity. Once all students have arrived, they often meet together to practice speaking and listening by discussing the calendar, weather, and counting the number of school days. Students receive reading instruction in both whole group and small group. Students learn about letters, sounds, read stories, and poems. Students attend special area classes such as library, art, music, and phys ed, and spend time writing each day. Students are introduced to math concepts using manipulatives and study scientific concepts on magnets, the earth, and living things. Students are expected to read or be read to for 15 minutes every day and to practice sight words and math facts at home. These should be quick, fun activities with your child. On a final note, be sure your student's backpack is large enough for a 12-inch folder and an iPad. Each student will be issued an iPad for use with their learning. Please contact your school with any questions. See you in August.
And then finally, we have a little just short video of Mrs. Wise, who could not be here this evening. She is one of our kindergarten teachers giving a welcome. I will share that this video, the quality of sound is not the best. So if you need to turn up your volume, please feel free to do so.
Hi, kindergartners. I'm Mrs. Wise, and I'll be one of the kindergarten teachers at Mountville Elementary next year. I want to introduce myself and just give you a quick little tour of the classroom. So in the classroom, we do a lot of hands-on things. You will see that we'll do morning meetings with a calendar. We will count the days of school every day so we can add up to our 180 days of school that will be here. We'll sing songs for the months of the year, the days of the week. We will be learning about our letters, our sounds, and writing. We do fun activities that include the 100th day of school. You'll see some of our 100th day collections here. We have a library in the classroom with lots of books to read from. You'll each have your own desk next year that you'll keep all of your things in. You'll see that we have crafts hanging from the ceiling. Right now we have palm trees hanging up. And you'll also notice that Mrs. Wise is decorated today in all kinds of St. Patrick's Day apparel and clothing because we do celebrate all the fun holidays here and we do lots of activities to go along with it. So we're here to learn, but we're here to have fun too. And I hope to see you next year. Bye, kindergartners.
So the final piece I'm not going to share with you right now, but it is a link that you are welcome to take your children to, and it's just listening to a story that is read by another author, just a way to connect with your child and have somebody, just some bonding time to have somebody else listen. So some future opportunities that we have coming, you want to make sure that you look for future social media posts about our virtual Preschool Connections. Mrs. Haggis will be putting out another high five later, coming up later in the next upcoming month or so, that will share some different activities, some different teachers that will be introduced. And then we will have May 3rd through 6th as the kindergarten screenings here in person at Mountville. Again, don't hesitate to contact the school, email any of the reading specialists, myself, if you have questions, and we will do our best to get those answers, especially if you think of it after tonight's session and the Q&A. I want to thank you for attending our first virtual kindergarten orientation. Again, please don't hesitate to reach out to any of us at your earliest convenience if you have any further questions. And that is the end of our presentation. So we can begin with our questions, and then I'll send it to the panelists who might be able to respond to the question the best. So, does the physical need to be after a certain date, Mrs. Essick?
As long as the physical is within the past year, it is valid. So if you have something that you had already turned in that was maybe from their 4-year-old checkup, they won't turn 5 until later, I will accept that, and that works perfectly.
When will the evaluation signups become available, Mrs. Haggis?
So they will become available as soon as we'll do 2 things, I believe. We will be sharing this whole recorded session. And then we will also be taking just that high five and putting a link to that on our social media so that you can go right into and click on those links. They will be live links for you. So I would say I would check back and give us just about a few days to get that up. But they will again be posted on all the social media. It'll go out on Twitter, just like we had a high five go out about maybe 6 weeks ago. So we'll do the same thing. I would say give a few days.
Is it possible for a child to fail screening? Any one of the reading specialists?
Well, I'll just jump on. I never even unmuted or muted myself. No, there is no pass or fail. It really is just giving our school an opportunity to get to know our students before they arrive, so that it guides us in knowing, what our students need to learn, what some of them may already be coming in knowing. So there is absolutely no pass or fail. And Ms. Kane, I'll let you, if you would wanted to speak to anything about EDK. I know that is something that's probably a part of this question.
Yes. So we are doing the screeners for EDK as well. And that is a determination that is made also with the rest of the team, the principal at Centerville, the assistant superintendent. So it just depends on where the students are, what their needs are, and if a full day kindergarten is needed. So there is a question about, is ESL offered and how do students get screened or determined for full day kindergarten? So this is the start of that screening process. And then if further screening needs to be done, then we of course do that. ESL is offered, and that would come through our English language development teacher, which is Mrs. Wolverton. But again, there's some screeners that happen there for the children to determine if they qualify. I hope that answered the question. There was a question for, can you go over I'm sorry, I just lost it. Can you go over any details regarding after and before school programs? Right now, the before and after school program that we have here is through the rec center. It's our MES program. It's actually, we partner with the rec, but the rec center runs it, and they have, I believe it's around 6:30 they start, and then kids need to be picked up by 6 p.m. On school operating days. So again, that's the rec center. It's through the Hempfield Rec, and it's called the MES program here at Mountville. When do we know if our child is in AM or PM kindergarten? Hopefully you were able to fill out your preference when you registered your child. 9 out of 10 times we do our best to accommodate that preference. Obviously, if the class gets too full, then we do need to maybe not be able to provide that, but we do our very best to provide parent preference if we can. We start to make class lists and think about that in May, and so then by June, before we leave the school year, that's usually sent out to transportation so that they can start their piece, so that information is done by the end of the year. Teachers, your teachers usually by August, though, of who's teaching, usually with the process of teachers moving grade levels or, retirees and then hiring processes. It usually isn't until August that teachers. I think we answered when the evaluation signups become available. The options for before and after school care would be the MES program. Now KinderCare, and Danielle, you might be able to pipe in KinderCare and Chesterbrook.
Yeah, Ugrove, Bright Spot, they all offer something. I'm not really sure at this point what they do pick up, for those, because these students are like, if they're AM. So, we do have a list, and then you would just need to contact them. So if you would like the list, you can let us know and we can provide that to you. And then you can go ahead and contact them in terms of what your need is.
Can I schedule screening appointments by phone?
I'll jump in here. Sure. So this year, of course, everything's just so different. And ideally, you would all be in person at our school tonight, and we would have you sign up for your screening right there, paper and pencil. We have the schedules and everybody just signs up. So this year we were forced to try to find a virtual way. And our best idea was to use this Sign Up Genius. So we're just going to ask that if you at all possibly could try to use the online version of signing up, that would be great. But again, we want everyone to find success with this. So if it is not something that you are able to do, you can call the school and we will certainly alert our secretaries. However, you can imagine they have to be in charge of doing all of the signups was just a little too much for them for everything else that they have to do. So that's why we have our virtual or our online version as well. So, but again, we want everyone to find success. So if you absolutely need help, then you call. Yes.
So the question is, will the information only be on Twitter, or will the links also be shared on Facebook? I believe that when we put it to the communication office, it goes to all of our social media. So Mountville does have a Facebook page. It can certainly be requested to be put on the Twitter and the Facebook page, also the website. So we'll try to get it on as many of the places that we have social media wise through the district that parents can access. My son receives speech and will continue in kindergarten. Will I have the opportunity to meet the speech teacher to ask her questions? Absolutely. There will be more opportunities for that to occur once we get closer to the beginning of the school year. And then obviously if things change and we have an opportunity to bring families and students in person here for the end of the year, just to, even if it's outside, we'll try to do that as well. I'm not sure what that's going to look like or if we can do it yet, but you would definitely have an opportunity to meet our speech teacher. Will there be a day? Will there be a day for kindergartners to meet their teacher? So normally the first day of school is, we have a sneak a peek, and that's always before school starts. I know that was a little different this past year, the sneak a peek, and will potentially be a little different again this year. But there'll be some kind of way to meet it. This past year it was virtual, it was more through a Google Meet, but we'll find a way for your child to meet their teacher on the first day or before the first day. And then on the first day, it's an opportunity for the child just to come in for a short period of time into the classroom. It's not really a full day. It's just about an hour or so, and they just kind of get acclimated, meet the teacher, and then kind of go home. So it's easing the kids in to kindergarten. Does anybody have anything else to add to that?
Stacy, that the meet the teacher the first day, that's with a small group of children, maybe 4 to 5 at max. So it's not as overwhelming as an entire class.
Thank you, Terry, for clarifying that. The teacher actually schedules a time for your child to come in so that it's only a small group at that point in time to come in with the teacher, and then they'll leave and then another group comes in. When will the teachers be assigned? Again, that usually happens after hiring and all that is finalized within the district. Is the EDK screening separate from the regular screening?
No, the regular screening is screening all students, and this year, because we've added something new, the Peli, we are going to be determining sort of after we have all of our data, then that will be when they sort of the team looks at the data and will assess the next steps for determining who would qualify for EDK. But it is looking a little bit different than this year. If you are a returning family, it's looking a little bit different this year because we're adding this second piece of assessment in for everyone. So, but we will make sure that we communicate well with all families at the time of kindergarten screening so that you understand if there are next steps or not.
So again, the social media links to follow for the high five would be our Mountville school page, Twitter, the Hempfield website. Those are the big ones. When will we know if I think I answered that one about AM, PM. So we do not know if masks will be required for next year. Obviously that has not come out from the state or from CDC. I mean, my guess is that the answer is probably still going to be yes, but we don't know yet. The 2021 calendar is available now. I think you meant the 2021-22 calendar, I believe, is out. So the 2021 calendar for this year is definitely out, and next year's calendar, the board just approved it. So it should be on the district website, I believe. Has anybody seen it out there?
It's the 24th is the first day of school.
Thank you. The average class size, it really varies year to year. It can go up to 25. This year we have about 18 students in the classrooms. So it can be a 25-to-1, but it also can be through, lower than that. It just depends on student enrollment and, balancing out the AM, PM kindergartens.
I saw a question about breakfast or lunch at school. So it depends. If a student is an AM kindergartner, then yes, but they will not be getting lunch to go home. But they do have access to breakfast.
PM kindergarten does not have lunch or anything. It's only AM kindergarten would have the option for a breakfast. I would say the person that is asking about the existing IEP, I would ask for you to contact me because that would be something we would need to contact and discuss with the special education department. Meredith Goodrich is our elementary coordinator, and that is something that we would have to look at and discuss with her.
I saw a question about the Mazer program that is housed in our building. They don't transport to the rec center at all. It is strictly in our buildings for both morning and afternoon. So if the children come in the morning, they're dropped off by a parent and then they go to their classroom when school begins. And the after school program is they leave directly from their classroom and go to the cafeteria where Mazer is held. And then a parent or caregiver would pick up anytime before 6 o'clock.
And just to answer that, UGRO does drop off and pick up, as well as Bright Start, Chesterbrook, and I know I'm forgetting one more, but KinderCare, thank you. They also drop off and pick up the beginning day and end of day.
Yep, and just to add to that, feel free to reach out to me. My stuff is in that slideshow on how to contact me, or just contact the school, and I can provide you just a list of what we know of, and then you can just contact them to see if they will be picking up for AM or PM and things like that. That way you can get it sorted out ahead of time.
Erin, there's a question. My child has food allergies. Who do I notify?
That would be me, the school nurse. If you just want to give a call into the building and they just ask for the school nurse, they'll transfer you over to me. Just let me know that you have an incoming kindergartner student for next year. Also, if you are here with your child during the screening and have anything like that, I would love to pop out and meet you guys. If you have any information for me then, I can chat with you then as well, if that would also be a good option for you.
Will there be any makeup dates for screenings if they're away that week that you're testing?
I would say if there was a very specific conflict that there were none of those days would work, to call the school and you could leave a voicemail and we will do our best to accommodate you. Of course, our goal is to get them all in those days since we stopped teaching our groups so that we can do our screenings. But of course, if there's a circumstance like that, we can try to work with you.
So the sneak peek, there was a sneak peek scheduled. Usually in May and June, it's not the sneak peek. It is where the children in kindergarten get to take the bus ride. So that is not going to happen. However, we're not really sure, again, if we're going to be able to do something here on site yet. More will come if we are. More to come. How much do the kindergartners use their iPads on a daily basis? That's a couple questions. Will homework all be done on the iPads? So I would say no, homework is not all done on the iPads. Certainly students have their books that they read and their flashcard, like their sight words that they practice and their math facts that they need to practice. With the way that just kind of the world has been this past year and a half, students, I would say, use their iPads more frequently than they have before, especially if they're virtual, because then they're on it, all day following the teacher through Google Meets. Or they need to know how to get into Schoology to be able to access certain activities. Like if it's an asynchronous day, such as next year is going to be, we don't have any built-in snow days. So that's one thing that, kiddos are going to have to do. They're going to have to get into Schoology from their teacher, pull up the assignment or whatever they're supposed to do that day. So I would say that the teachers try to balance that, especially for the younger students in kindergarten and first grade. Obviously, as they get older, they're on it a lot more. But with the way the pandemic has kind of hit everything, kindergartners are on it more than they have been in the past and earlier. Is meeting the first day with the parents or by themselves with the children? It has been one adult. One adult can come with the child to bring the child in to meet and be with the child during that time period. Will we be able to access the recording of this meeting? Yes, you will. Rayanne, I don't know if you can share where the recordings will be or.
Yeah, it will be the way it's been shared. It'll be on the Mountville webpage, but typically it's been shared out with principals, and then principals post it in their weekly newsletter. So it's not an immediate posting. They've been taking a week or so, but it will be available to be watched again.
And while you're on, Ray, and there's a question about setting up Schoology and a PowerSchool account for their child.
Sure. We have all of those items on the technology section of the district website. So if you have a specific need for that information prior to your students starting, you can contact the office and they'll get you in touch with us where we can give you some specific information. But that's all done through the technology office. And once you get your PowerSchool account set up, once your child's enrolled, then you will also have a Schoology account. And I believe you'll be getting a letter with the PowerSchool setup information once you are enrolled.
So if a student needs full day kindergarten or half day kindergarten, will that be decided after the screening? Well, again, there's only a couple of full day kindergarten classes. Those are housed at Centerville Elementary School, and that is for the entire district. So all of the students in Hempfield who are being screened coming in incoming kindergartens, it is determined whether or not they need that type of service for full day kindergarten. So that it's not like they can just say, yep, I want full day kindergarten. It really is a process that's looked at very carefully based on true student need of their academic performance of who needs to be in there, because spots are limited. And is there a virtual option through the district for parents who don't feel comfortable sending their child to school during COVID? So next year it will look very different, the virtual option. Teachers will not be juggling both. That is what has been shared by the superintendent. I know that they are looking and working on expanding and realigning and adjusting what the program looks like in terms of the cyber that they have with Haven. What will that look like? What will virtual look like for parents that don't feel comfortable sending their students in person? But in the school, we will just be in person. It won't be both like it has been this year. So I think I got all of the questions. Okay. I want to thank everybody for joining us this evening. Again, I know it's a little different in this forum where we can't really hear you and have that interaction, that personal interaction with speaking and answering questions and talking about what kindergarten looks like. But I really appreciate everybody joining us this evening. We are here to answer questions if you have them. If we don't have the answers, then we do our best and get the answers. So please don't hesitate to reach out to any of us and look forward the information that'll be coming forth via all the social media and the website for the signups and the upcoming information about Preschool Connections. So until then, we can't wait to meet your young new kindergartners coming into our building next year. And I thank you again for joining us. Have a great evening.